You may be wondering, what should you do in this time, in this crisis, in this pandemic, during this quarantine? You may be wondering how I'm gonna pay my bills, how I'm gonna support my kids and stuff. You may be going through a lot. You may be having a lot of anxiety. You may be having a lot of worry. Your guy, Neil Legend, with a Neil Legend report, is here to help you out. So, guys, like I said, I'm your guy, Neil Legend. I appreciate you so much for being here with me. Just go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe to the Neil Legend Report, and you will get all the latest updates when I put them out. So, guys, look, we already know what's happening right now. COVID-19 is here. It doesn't matter how it got here. It doesn't matter when it got here. It's here. And we have to change our lives accordingly to the new parameters that the government is setting for us. So what's happening right now? A lot of states in the United States is going under major quarantine. Is actually being locked down, and a lot of people is going crazy. A lot of people is running around with your heads cut off. And I'm just sitting here to tell you, do not be weary. Do not be stressed out. Do not be anxious and do not have anxiety. That is not going to help the problem, the situation. But what can help this situation is you changing your mind, telling yourself what you need to do, what should I do, how can I do it. So I made a list of a few things that we should do as a family to capitalize on this quarantine. So the first thing I wrote down, I believe this is the perfect time that we should bond with our families. Yes, I said it. We need to bond with our families. A lot of y'all is married. A lot of y'all have kids. A lot of y'all have extended family inside your household. And what happened is every day through the hustle and bustle of the day, you're working, she's working, kids going to school, parents going out playing, whatever it is that you're doing in your day, we don't have that time to actually bond and communicate with one another. And in the process, we lose connection and we wonder why it's so hard to talk to a family member, to talk to a loved one. I believe this is the perfect time. I believe this time was set up for us. I believe this time was set up for us to slow down. I was speaking to my friend Sean B just yesterday, and the main thing he said that this time afford us the time to slow down and get to know ourselves and get to know one another. So I believe in this time right now, you need to slow down. You need to like make a conscious effort to say, you know what? I want to get to know my wife better. I want to get to know my husband more. I want to understand why my kids get mad and upset. I want to understand like what's wrong with our communication. And then just the people who already have it together, now it's time to actually just thrive in this moment with your family. Like do a lot of stuff that's inside. You know, we used to go outside for camping and roasting marshmallows and fishing. Let's do some activities that's on the inside. And if you have a backyard, you have a nice front yard, if you have a little gated house, like you can do some things in your yard. You can go camping out in the backyard. You do not have to let this time define your happiness and how you move on in the future. My friends, you need to take this time and take this time seriously and just be positive, which that's going to move to my fourth one, but we ain't got there yet. I believe the next thing that you need to do, this is to all the entrepreneurs or just anybody who's thinking about anything in their life. I think what you need to do is make a plan. Yes, I said it. You need to make a plan. See, what happened is you've been working your whole life. You done put yourself as mommy duty in the family and father. You just burdened down by the stresses of life, but you just keep on moving. And kids, you're going to school and you have football and you were planning for prom and you was planning for graduation and like all that stuff is set aside now. So what I'm telling you is what you should do. You should make a plan. Now is the perfect time for you to make a plan of your life. Now is, look, you are forced to stay in your house. You are forced to not go to work. You are forced to not go to school. You are forced to not go to the beach. You are forced to not go to the clubs. You are forced to not go to friends' house at this moment. And the states who's sitting here and saying, well, you know what? We ain't under quarantine yet. My friend, is coming. And it's going to happen. Wherever you at, it's going to happen. So this is the perfect time for you to make a plan. You have to make a plan, because there will be a point in time we're not going to be under quarantine. There will be a time that we are able to go back to work. There will be a time we are able to congregate with one another. And that time would be reflected on what you did in this time of quarantine. After this time of quarantine, you should have no reason, you should have no excuse to complain, because you need to use this time effectively. My friend, you got me? You still with me? All right, let's move on. The next thing is that I think the best one of all is to get to know yourself. I really believe you need to get to know yourself. This goes along with bonding with family, but more so this is isolated down to yourself. I believe as you're going to work, as you're going to school, I believe just every day has took its toll on you. You forget who yourself is. And I believe this is the perfect time for you to just detach, for you to unplug from the world and say, who am I? What do I want? Where do I want to go in life? Where do I want to be? Like, what friends do I want? What do I want a family? Like, what kind of house do I want? Like, how many cars do I want to drive? Like, what career do I want to get in? Like, my legacy, what legacy do I want to leave behind? Like, I believe this is the perfect time for you to get to know yourself. I also believe on the other getting to know yourself, find out what makes you mad. Find out what makes you happy. Find out why maybe you are the common denominator in all things bad. Why this is not working for you. Why this door closed too fast. Like, find out if you're the life of the party, and find out how you can take you being the life of the party and exercise it into something that you want to do. Just really get to know yourself. Get to know yourself, mind, body, and soul. Like, me being a man of God, I'm really going to take this time and I'm going to study more than ever. I have all the time in the world, so I'm going to study a whole lot more. I'm truly going to get to know myself and get a stronger relationship with my Creator. And the last thing, guys, if you didn't hear nothing that I said, this is what you need to hear right now. You need to think positive and you need to execute. Well, let me say that again. You need to think positive and you need to execute. Well, where this come from? This whole video is predicated to a lot of my friends and a lot of my family. So I was speaking to one of my homies, and this dude told me, he said he don't want the quarantine, and of course a lot of people don't want the quarantine, but his reason was he said he wanted to go to work. I'm not gonna get too deep in his thing, but they still gonna pay this dude even if he don't go to work, but he was like, I still wanna just go to work. And I said, and I told him, I said, dude, think positive. I said, think of the time that you are being afforded right now. You cannot tell me no other time that a job said you don't have to come to work and I'm going to pay you. You can't think of no other time in the future that you will even get this time to yourself. So what I'm trying to tell him is just like, dude, you really need to change the wiring in your brain. So while you in quarantine, you can execute in a positive way. It sounds like to me, somebody of that thinking and anybody else, it sounds like to me, you're going to be mad and upset and grumpy this whole quarantine. This quarantine can last a week. This quarantine can last 2 years. We don't know. We don't know how long this quarantine going to be. We don't know how long this quarantine is going to last. And we don't know. So we cannot sit around just thinking like, you know what, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to go back. And you don't know when we're going to go back. So you need to think positive and execute. Just look, I want you to understand, for you people out there who are married and have kids, especially the men, your atmosphere and what you give out is gonna seep through the house. If you feeling bad, your wife gonna feel bad, and if both of you feeling bad, your kid's gonna feel bad. You have the power to control the atmosphere of your house. So I need you, my friend, my brothers, my sister. I need all of y'all out here to think positive and execute. My friends, it's been real. You rocking out with your homie, Neil Legend. You just got finished listening to a Neil Legend report. So please, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe to the Neil Legend Report. I'll get back with you on another video.